There's a quiet moment that many people over 60 experience. You stand up from a chair, and for just a second your legs don't feel like they belong to you. They feel weak, unsteady, maybe even a little numb. You pause and tell yourself, it's just age. It happens. But what if I told you it's not just age? What if something you're eating every single day is slowly draining the strength from your legs? I've seen this again and again. Patients come in worried about balance, about walking, about the fear of falling, and most of them believe it's inevitable. But when we look closely at their daily habits, something surprising shows up. It's not always lack of exercise, and it's not always a serious disease. Very often, it's the food on their plate quietly weakening their muscles, reducing circulation, and speeding up the loss of leg strength. And here's the part that might shock you. Some of the most common foods that seem harmless, even normal, are doing this silently. Foods you may be eating every single day without thinking twice. Today, I'm going to walk you through 5 specific foods seniors must be careful with, because they can slowly take away your mobility, your independence, and your confidence. By the time you finish watching, you'll not only know what to avoid, but you'll understand exactly why these foods are harmful and what simple changes you can make to protect your strength, even in your 70s, 80s, or beyond. Because strong legs are not just about walking. They're about freedom, dignity, and living life on your own terms. So stay with me, because the third and fourth foods are the ones most people never suspect, and they're often the most damaging. Let's begin with the first one, something many seniors rely on every single morning: processed breakfast foods. Think about toast with sugary jam, packaged cereals, sweetened oatmeal packets, or those quick breakfast bars that claim to be healthy. They're convenient and comforting, but underneath that convenience is a hidden problem most people don't see. These foods are loaded with refined carbohydrates and added sugars. When you eat them, your blood sugar rises quickly and then crashes. That spike and crash doesn't just affect your energy, it directly impacts your muscles. Over time, unstable blood sugar can lead to inflammation, poor circulation, and even damage to the small nerves that help your legs function properly. That's when you start feeling heaviness in your legs, tingling, or that strange weakness when you try to stand or walk. Your muscles need steady, balanced fuel to stay strong, not sudden spikes and crashes. So when your day begins with sugar-heavy processed foods, your legs are already at a disadvantage. Don't worry though, later I'll show you simple alternatives that actually support strength. Now let's move to the second food, and this one is even more deceptive. Excess salt, especially from processed and packaged foods. You might think you don't use much salt, but most of it doesn't come from your salt shaker. It comes from canned soups, frozen meals, packaged snacks, and ready-made sauces that quietly add up over time. Too much sodium can cause fluid retention, swelling, and increased pressure on your blood vessels, which affects circulation. And when circulation is compromised, your leg muscles don't get the oxygen and nutrients they need. That's when your legs start feeling tired faster, heavier by the end of the day, and sometimes slightly swollen. And here's the key. Poor circulation builds slowly and silently, until one day you suddenly feel the difference. We're just getting started, because the next foods on this list are the ones that truly surprise people, and they may already be part of your daily routine. Stay with me, because what you learn next could completely change how you protect your strength and your independence. Now let's go a little deeper, because understanding why these foods weaken your legs can completely change the way you see your daily meals. Your leg strength doesn't just depend on how much you walk or exercise. It depends on how well your muscles are nourished, how efficiently your nerves communicate, and how smoothly your blood flows. When any one of these systems is affected, your legs are often the first place you feel it. And unfortunately, certain foods quietly interfere with all three. Let's talk about the third food: sugary drinks and hidden sugars. This isn't just soda. It includes sweetened tea, packaged fruit juices, flavored yogurts, and even some healthy drinks marketed to seniors. The problem is not just the sugar itself, but what it does inside your body over time. When sugar levels stay high, it can damage blood vessels and tiny nerves, especially in the legs. This is one of the early pathways that can lead to weakness, tingling, or even burning sensations. I once spoke with a patient in his early 70s who couldn't understand why his legs felt weaker each month. He wasn't inactive, and he didn't have any major illness. But when we reviewed his routine, there it was: 3 to 4 glasses of packaged juice every single day. He thought he was doing something healthy. but those constant sugar spikes were quietly affecting his circulation and nerve health. Within weeks of reducing that intake, he began to notice a difference in how steady he felt. Now, here's something important most people don't realize. It's not just about avoiding sugar, it's about avoiding repeated spikes. Your muscles depend on stable energy, and your nerves depend on a clean, balanced internal environment. When sugar keeps rising and falling sharply, your body struggles to maintain both. And over time, your legs pay the price. Let's move to the fourth food, and this one surprises almost everyone: processed vegetable oils and fried foods. Things like deep-fried snacks, fast food, packaged chips, and even some cooking oils used repeatedly at high heat. These foods are high in unhealthy fats that promote inflammation inside the body. And inflammation is one of the biggest hidden enemies of muscle strength and joint function. When inflammation builds up, your muscles don't recover as well, your joints feel stiffer, and your overall mobility starts to decline. You might notice it as slower walking, difficulty climbing stairs, or that heavy feeling in your legs that wasn't there before. It's subtle at first, but over time it becomes more noticeable. And because it happens gradually, many people don't connect it back to their diet. There's also a myth I want to gently correct here. Many people believe that as long as they're eating less, they're doing the right thing. But quality matters just as much as quantity. You can eat small portions of the wrong foods and still experience weakness, inflammation, and loss of strength. It's not about eating less. It's about eating smarter. And now we come to the fifth food: processed meats. Items like sausages, deli meats, bacon, and preserved meat products. These are often high in sodium, preservatives, and compounds that can increase inflammation and affect blood vessel health. Over time, this combination can reduce how efficiently oxygen reaches your muscles, especially in the lower body. Think about your leg muscles for a moment. They carry your entire body weight. They need consistent oxygen, proper nutrients, and healthy nerve signals to function well. When your diet interferes with even one of these, you may start to notice fatigue, reduced endurance, or even a lack of confidence while walking. And again, this doesn't happen overnight. It builds slowly, often without clear warning signs. So when you look at these 5 foods together, a pattern starts to emerge. They either spike your blood sugar, increase inflammation, or reduce circulation. And these 3 factors are deeply connected to how strong and stable your legs feel as you age. The good news is, once you understand this pattern, you can begin to take control of it. Because in the next part, I'm going to show you exactly what to do instead. Simple daily habits, practical food swaps, and small changes that can help protect your leg strength and restore your confidence step by step. And some of these changes are so easy you can start them today. Now let's shift from what to avoid to what you can start doing today to protect and even rebuild your leg strength. Because the truth is, your body has an incredible ability to recover when you give it the right support. I've seen people in their late 70s and even 80s regain stability and confidence simply by making a few consistent changes in their daily routine. And the best part is, these changes are simple, practical, and don't require anything extreme. First, let's talk about how to rebuild strength through smarter food choices. Your muscles need steady fuel, not spikes and crashes. So instead of starting your day with sugary or processed breakfast foods, shift toward something balanced. A simple meal with protein, healthy fats, and fiber can make a huge difference. For example, eggs with a slice of whole grain bread or plain yogurt with a handful of nuts. This kind of meal keeps your blood sugar stable and gives your muscles the consistent energy they need to function properly throughout the day. Now here's something many people overlook: hydration. As we age, our sense of thirst becomes weaker, and many seniors don't drink enough water. Even mild dehydration can affect muscle function and circulation, leading to fatigue and weakness in the legs. So make it a habit to drink small amounts of water regularly throughout the day, even if you don't feel very thirsty. It's a simple step, but it has a powerful impact. Let's also talk about reducing inflammation, because this is key to maintaining mobility. Instead of fried and heavily processed foods, try incorporating natural anti-inflammatory options into your meals. Foods like leafy greens, fruits, nuts, seeds, and healthy fats such as olive oil can support your joints and muscles. Over time, this helps reduce that stiffness and heaviness many people feel in their legs. Another important habit is movement. But gentle, consistent movement. You don't need intense workouts. Even simple daily activities like walking, light stretching, or standing up and sitting down slowly a few times can strengthen your leg muscles. The key is consistency. Your muscles respond to regular use, and even small efforts add up over time. If you stay still for too long, your muscles weaken faster. But if you keep them active, even gently, they stay engaged and stronger. Now let me share a common mistake I see very often. People try to change everything at once, and then they give up. Instead, focus on one or two small changes at a time. Maybe you start by replacing your breakfast. Then you reduce sugary drinks. Then you add a short daily walk. Step by step, these small actions begin to build real, lasting strength. There's also something important about timing. Try not to go long hours without eating, especially if your meals are unbalanced. Long gaps followed by heavy meals can cause those same blood sugar spikes we talked about earlier. Instead, aim for steady, moderate meals that keep your energy levels stable throughout the day. Your legs will thank you for it. And finally, listen to your body. If your legs feel tired, heavy, or weak, don't ignore it. These are early signals, not something to simply accept. When you respond early with better nutrition, hydration, and movement, you give your body the chance to correct itself before the problem becomes more serious. All of this may sound simple, and that's because it is. But simple does not mean ineffective. These small, consistent habits are exactly what protect your independence over time. In the final part, I'm going to bring everything together and leave you with a message that I believe every senior needs to hear, especially if you've been feeling like it's too late to regain your strength. There's something I want you to understand. And I say this not just as a professional, but as someone who has seen this transformation happen many times. Losing strength in your legs is not always a one-way road. It's not always something you simply have to accept. Yes, the body changes with age, that's natural. But weakness, instability, and loss of confidence are very often signals, not sentences. Signals that your body is asking for better support, better nourishment, and a little more care. Think about everything we've talked about today. The foods that quietly drain your strength. The sugar spikes, the hidden salt, the inflammation, the poor circulation. None of these happen overnight, and that's actually good news. Because it means you have time to change direction. I've seen people who once struggled to stand for long periods begin to walk more confidently again. I've seen individuals who feared falling regain their balance simply by changing what they eat, staying hydrated, and moving just a little more each day, not perfectly, just consistently. And that's the key I want you to remember. Consistency over perfection. You don't need a strict diet. You don't need complicated routines. You just need to be a little more aware of what you're putting into your body, and a little more intentional with your daily habits. Each small choice you make either supports your strength or slowly takes away from it. So the next time you reach for a meal, pause for a moment and ask yourself, is this helping my body stay strong? Or is it quietly working against me? That one simple question can begin to change everything. And if your legs have been feeling weaker lately, if you've noticed that walking isn't as easy as it used to be, take that as a gentle warning, not a final outcome. Your body is still capable of adapting, healing, and becoming stronger than you think. You are not too old to feel steady again. You are not too late to take control of your health. And you are not alone in this journey. Start small. Stay consistent. Trust the process. And if this message helped you in any way, take a moment to support the channel. Like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need to hear this today. And I'd really love to hear from you. What is one small change you're going to start today? Because sometimes the smallest step is the one that brings your strength back. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.